The Berlin Open was supposed to be about Elena Rybakina, the world number 2, the Wimbledon champion, the player who had beaten Alexandra Eala just weeks ago in Rome. The oddsmakers had made their predictions. The experts had written their analyses. And then, the match began. Rybakina raced to a 4-1 lead. It looked like business as usual. The Kazakhstani star was serving bombs, hitting winners, doing exactly what she was supposed to do. And then, something shifted. Something that nobody saw coming. Alexandra Eala, the 21-year-old wildcard from the Philippines, decided she was not done. She decided she would not go quietly. She decided she would rewrite the script. What happened next was insane. The Steffi Graf Stadion in Berlin witnessed something that will be talked about for years. A comeback. An upset. A moment that sent shockwaves through the tennis world. This is the story of what happened after Alex Eala defeated Elena Rybakina. And trust me, you will not believe what happened next. The match began exactly as everyone expected. Elena Rybakina, the world number 2, the 2022 Wimbledon champion, the woman who had beaten Eala 6-4, 6-3 at the Italian Open just weeks earlier, came out firing. She was serving rockets. She was hitting aces. She was in complete control. Within minutes, she had raced to a 4-1 lead in the first set. The crowd in the Steffi Graf Stadion, packed with Filipino fans waving the blue, red, yellow, and white of the Philippine flag, fell silent. It looked like the match was over before it had really begun, but Alexandra Eala is not the kind of player who gives up. She is not the kind of player who accepts defeat. She is a fighter. She is a survivor. She is a champion in the making. And she decided that she was not going to let Rybakina walk all over her. She started to find her rhythm. She started to trust her game. She started to believe. I think you have to give yourself grace while also being brave, Eala would later say about her mentality during the match. And that is exactly what she did. She gave herself grace. She did not panic. She did not get frustrated. She simply stayed calm, stayed focused, and started playing her tennis. And slowly, inexorably, the momentum began to shift. Eala clawed her way back into the set. She broke Rybakina's serve. She held her own serve. The score went from 1-4 to 4-4. The crowd erupted. The Filipino fans, who had been silent just minutes earlier, were now louder than ever. They could feel it. They could sense that something special was happening. Eala could feel it too. 5-5, Eala made her move. She broke Rybakina's serve again, taking a 6-5 lead. Then she held her serve to close out the set, 7-5. The comeback was complete. Eala had taken 6 of the next 7 games. She had stolen the set from the world number 2. The Steffi Graf Stadion was in chaos. The Filipino fans were screaming. And Eala was just getting started. The second set was a battle. Rybakina, a 2-time Grand Slam champion, was not going to go down without a fight. She unleashed 13 aces in the match, and won 81% of her first serves. She was hitting bombs, putting pressure on Eala's return game. But Eala refused to be intimidated. She took advantage of Rybakina's second serve, winning 70.4% of those points, and converting 3 of her 7 break-point opportunities. She was brave. She was fearless. She was playing the best tennis of her life. When Rybakina's final forehand sailed wide, Eala had done it. She had beaten the world number 2. She had beaten the Wimbledon champion. She had beaten the player who had dismantled her in Rome just weeks earlier. The scoreline read 7-5, 6-4. The match had lasted 1 hour and 32 minutes. And Eala had just achieved her 5th career top 10 victory, her second over a player who has held the world number 2 ranking. But what happened next was even more memorable. After acknowledging the roaring crowd in the Steffi Graf Stadion and embracing her team, Eala did something that melted the hearts of tennis fans around the world. She pulled out her phone and made an urgent call. "I called my dad," the beaming 21-year-old said in her on-court interview. "I just said, oh my God. We were just screaming, and my mom was there, too. I'm just really happy." The moment was pure, raw, and utterly human. Here was a young woman who had just achieved something extraordinary, and the first thing she wanted to do was share it with her parents. The tennis world was not just impressed by her tennis. It was moved by her heart. The video of Eala calling her dad went viral within hours. Fans around the world could not stop talking about it. It was the kind of moment that reminds everyone why sports matter. In the moments after match point, it was a bit difficult for Eala to process what she had just accomplished. She was overwhelmed. She was emotional. She was in disbelief. And she was not afraid to admit it. "I am a little foggy right now," Eala said in her on-court interview. "I'm still shaking, and I was shaking on match point, too." She was shaking. The 21-year-old from Quezon City, who had just beaten the world number 2 on grass, was shaking like a leaf. It was a reminder that despite all her success, despite all her victories, she is still human. She is still young. She is still learning. And she is still capable of being surprised by her own greatness. "I'm really happy with today, of course," she continued. "It could have gone either way. I think there were really tight moments in both sets, and she's an amazing player." Then came the comment that has sparked endless debate. "She's the one to beat," Eala said of Rybakina. The comment was interesting because the rankings tell a different story. Aryna Sabalenka is the world number 1, not Rybakina. But Eala has now played Rybakina twice, whereas she has yet to meet Sabalenka on the WTA Tour. In Eala's mind, based on her experience, Rybakina is the standard. And she had just beaten that standard. Eala also shared the secret to her success against a heavy server like Rybakina. "I think you have to give yourself grace while also being brave," she said. "In my return game in general, the highlight of my game is to be brave." It was a simple philosophy, but it had carried her to victory against one of the best players in the world. The victory over Rybakina was not just about the win. It was about what the win represented. Eala, ranked number 35 in the world at the time, was fighting for something bigger than just a quarterfinal spot. She was fighting for a Wimbledon seed. The Wimbledon seeding cutoff was June 22. The top 32 players receive a seed, which gives them a protected placement in the draw, avoiding the top seeds until at least the third round. Being a seeded player in the Wimbledon main draw would enable Eala to avoid meeting the top guns early in the tournament. In 2025, Eala had the misfortune of playing in the opening round against former Czech defending champion Barbora Krejcikova. She did not want a repeat of that experience. The victory over Rybakina was exactly what Eala needed. Reports say the result moved Eala to about number 31 in live WTA rankings, putting her past Emma Raducanu and closer to possible Wimbledon seeding. The win had pushed her into the top 32. The dream of a Wimbledon seed was becoming a reality. Eala's journey to this point had been remarkable. She had won the Birmingham Open, her first grass court title. She had made it to the second round, after beating HSBC Championships champion Donna Vekic, 7-5, 6-4. And now, she had beaten the world number 2. She had matched her career best win by ranking. She was the first Filipino to break the WTA top 50. And she was just getting started. The celebration was brief. The phone call to her dad was over. The tears had been wiped away. Now, it was time to focus on the next challenge. Elena Svitolina. The world number 8. The Ukrainian veteran. The woman who had clobbered German Eva Lies, 6-3, 6-2, in the round of 16. Svitolina is a former world number 3. She has won 17